Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen, wa ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd, qala Allahu tabarak wa ta'ala fil Qur'an al-Majid wal Furqan al-Hamid. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولوطا إذ قال لقومه أتأتون الفاحشة ما سبقكم بها من أحد من العالمين إنكم لتأتون الرجال شهوة من دون النساء بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وما كان جواب قومه إلا أن قالوا أخرجوهم من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون فأنجيناه وأهله إلا امرأته كانت من الغابرين وأمطرنا عليهم مطرا فانظر كيف كان عاقبة المجرمين صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله الكريم أما بعد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد في شان حبيبه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم عليه. Today the topic is homosexuality and Islam. Homosexuality is when the male start fulfilling that desire with the male and the females are fulfilling that desire with the female. It's called homosexuality. Why have I chosen this topic? I never done this topic before. I never needed to do this topic before. But now I am, and every imam is directly involved in this. Why is directly involved? Because one of a hypocrite school in England, they hired a gay Muslim to preach our children, Muslim children, that being gay, being homosexual is perfectly fine according to Islamic principle. So when he is going to talk about Islam, then of course I am involved because it is my job to tell them, no, it is not fine. At all it is not fine. It's going against the Quran. It is going against the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Someone is gay, someone is lesbian, someone is homosexual. We have nothing to do with them. Free will, everyone has free will. Do whatever you want to do. But when you come and start preaching our children, and since when, I would say since when these schools started preaching Islam? This is not your job. This is our job to preach Islam. Unless you are an Islamic school. And plus you know very well, the guy you called, he is gay and it goes against Islam as well. What is freedom of speech? Freedom of speech is when you're calling him, you call someone who knows about this field. You should have called Imam there too. Their little children are sitting there and you preaching them being gay is okay. And I congratulate that girl and I congratulate that boy who confronted him. His name is Khakan Quraishi. He said, from all over the Quran, I researched Quran. You never read medicines. You never got degree from any medical college. Can you do research on medical or on medicines? No, you can't, because you have to have knowledge for that. You cannot even pronounce Quran. He's calling Quran as a Quran. Yeah, if someone is reverted, I would say, chalo, theek hai, he's a new person towards Islam and he's calling Quran as a Quran. Different thing. You are a Muslim. So from calling Quran as a Quran, you can clearly tell what kind of nourishment you had from your parents. And he said, I've researched Quran and there was nowhere in Quran or in Bible he says that being homosexual is bad. What do you mean is nowhere? And then the girl said, of course it is. And then the boy, he said to him, read Shahada so that we know you are a Muslim. He said, no, I don't have to read Shahada. He said, but how do we know that you are a Muslim? That's a freedom of speech, what that girl and the boy is doing. But one of the school teachers, he should be ashamed on himself. The way he started shouting. Have you watched the video? He started shouting at those Muslims who confronted him. He said, yeah, how dare you speak like that? How dare you speak like that? Just like he has freedom of speech to talk and preach whatever he wants to preach, same as that, all our children have freedom of speech and freedom of leaving these kind of gatherings. They can say, why, okay, we don't want to listen because we have freedom here. We can leave. Freedom of listening. We don't have to sit here. How dare you start shouting at them? If that was happening in madrasa, if I was shouting at my children, I'm telling you, all the authorities would be in here in masjid. How come no authorities are going to that school and telling them off? How dare you shouting at children? How dare you not letting them speak for themselves? And they were asking, they said to him, yeah, that's fine, you are gay, perfectly fine. They're not saying you are gay, this and that. No, we don't say that. You are gay, yeah, good for you. Whatever you want to do, we know, because you have free will. You are sinning, that's up to you. But how dare you start preaching our children that this is fine? It is not fine at all. Now remember, committing haram. Someone is drinking and he knows drinking is haram. He does not become non-Muslim. Very important, he does not become non-Muslim. But someone drinks and says, yeah, it is halal, he becomes non-Muslim straight away because he's going against Quran. Someone is eating pork sandwiches, and he knows it is haram. He says it is haram. He says I'm sinning. He says I'm doing wrong. He is still Muslim, but he is committing major mistake, major sin. But someone eats pork sandwich, says it is halal to do that, he is straight away outside the fold of Islam because he's going against Quran. When someone says I'm gay, that's fine, I know I'm going against the teachings of Quran, then that is his own major mistake. He's making it. He's sinning. Is the major sin. But if someone says that I'm gay and it is totally perfect in Islam according to Quran and according to Hadith, it is fine. He's not Muslim anymore because you're going against Quran and Hadith. Of course, we will give you all the Hadith and the Quran as well, that it is wrong and it is sin. First, let me tell you, who tell you to change your gender? Who tell you inside, who give you actually hukam to change your gender? You know, anyone knows shaitan here? Iblis, devil. When he was kicked out from Jannah, what promise he made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When he was expelled from Jannah, what promise he made? It's quoted in Quran. When he was leaving, he said, Wallah wala amurannahum falayughayyirunna khalqallah, that I will definitely wala amurannahum. When the lam comes start of the verb and the noon mushaddada comes at the end, la amurannahum, I will 100% give them hukam. Who? All the Muslims, all the humanity, to do what? Fala yughayyirunna, ghayyir, change. What? Khalqallah, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you. I will make them change their bodies. And in tafsir, whatever ulama didn't say, they say, wala ad'uwannahum, I will invite them towards where? Ila taghyiri khalqillahi fil fitrati wal hayati. To make changes in between what? Fitrati wal hayati. What is fitrat? In your nature, you start saying, no, I think God made a mistake that he put my soul in a wrong body. No, so you are saying creator made a mistake and creation is more smarter than creator. Huh? What kind of mistake you are making? That creator made a mistake, that he put my soul into a wrong body. No, that's wrong. And then he said, I will not just make them make changes in their fitra. Fitra is basically the nature he's born upon. If he's a male, he's a male. He's a female, or she's a female. I will also make them make changes in hayat, in their body. They will start changing their bodies. And if you really go and watch those videos, all those boys, young boys, 7 years old, 6 years old, who go to school and say, I think I'm a boy, and schools are not allowed to say, no, you are not. And then they start doing their operation and change them. All those, when they grown up, they're making videos now. They're 15, 20 years old. They said, how come I was not helped? How come authority did not help me when I was 6, 7 years old? I didn't know what I was saying. And now every 6 months I have to go and make operation because my body is changing. And why you did not help me? It's just like someone having a cancer. You're going to help him. You're going to cure that disease. It's not you're going to say to him, yeah, you have cancer, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. Go preach people, cancer is perfectly fine. No, you're not going to do that. So those videos are coming up now. All those male, when they were 6, 7 years old, they said we are boys, boys, if they are boys that they said we are girl, or the girls that they said boys, now they are making those videos. This is all on the YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere those videos are. They said, how come we were not helped? How come we were not helped through from authorities and from GPs? And they just said us, okay, let's do operations. Whenever shaitan put this idea in your mind, remember it is coming from shaitan. The promise he made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wala amuranna, I will give them hukam to change your bodies, to change your nature. Now, is sexuality is a sin? According to Islamic principle, homosexuality is not just a sin, it's a grave sin. It's a major sin according to Islamic rulings. Because it goes against the fitrah. It goes against the pure nature of not just mankind, it goes against the nature of even animals. Have you ever seen a male lion going towards male lion to fulfill his desires? He will go towards the female lioness. And have you ever seen a male elephant going towards male elephant? Because they know it's a nature. They will go, male will incline towards female and female will incline towards male. Even animals know that. Animals know this, that this is fitrah, this is a nature made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, let me give you to that man and to the school as well, to everyone, that homosexuality is condemned in Quran. And how is condemned? Allah. How is condemned and where is condemned? In Surah Araf, which is Surah number 7 and ayah number 80 and 81. I won't go in other ayahs because it's condemned in other places as well in the Quran. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلُوطًا and Lut alayhi salam إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ. Then Lut alayhi salam, when he said to his people that, oh my people, do you commit the shameful act? He never said fahishatan. He said al-fahisha. I'll give you now a little bit terminology of Arabic terminology. He said ata'tun al-fahisha, that you come toward this the shameful act in which nobody has ever preceded you from all the world. That anyone who came before you, no one has ever committed this sin before you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, surely you come to man lustfully instead of woman. Now Allah is saying going towards woman through marriage, that is a halal way. This is not halal way, and that's what Allah says after that. Bal antum qawmun musrifun, no, you are a people who cross the limits. So anyone who changes his nature, his body, whatever Allah gave him, then he is crossing the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and crossing the boundaries of Sharia. Now let me give you a little bit terminology of hadith, of Arabic language. When it came to adultery, you know, adultery, zina is a grave sin, one of the major sin. When it came to zina, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, innahu kana fahishatan. Tan means it's one of the major sin, one of all the major sins. He never said the shameful act, he said a shameful act. But when it came to this homosexuality, Allah said atatuna al-fahisha, alif lam. You know, when you say kitabun, any kitab, just one kitab. When it says al-kitab, that means a special. Allah is talking about something very special. That's the reason when Quran is mentioned in Quran as a book, Allah always says al-kitab, zalikal kitab. Alif lam mim, zalika al-kitabu la rayba fi. That it is the book which has no doubt in it. So when it came to homosexuality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said al-fahisha, that it is not a normal sin. It is one of the major sins. So you are the people who have crossed your limits. You're supposed to be inclining towards women, marry them, and then you fulfill your desires. You are going towards man. You are crossing the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now what Sahaba says about this? They said this act was unknown in the world before these people of Lut. Neither had the worst of human being had ever thought about committing this evil action before the people of Lut. Had this event relating to the people of Lut not been mentioned in Quran, I would have never suspected that a human being could do something like that. Subhanallah. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he condemned this shameful act. Hadrat Jabir radiyallahu ta'ala said, Prophet said, there is nothing I fear for my ummah more than the action of the people of Lut, more than the action of homosexuality. This hadith is narrated by Tirmizi, Ibn Majah. Tirmizi 1457, Ibn Majah 2563. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Hazrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu, cousin, brother of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, cursed is the one who does the action of the people of Lut. Cursed is the one who does the action of homosexuality. Narrated by Ahmad 1878. One of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah curse upon the person who commits the action of people of Lut. May Allah curse upon them, may Allah curse upon them, may Allah curse upon them. And he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has never cursed upon anyone, no matter what kind of sin they have committed, thrice, 3 times in one hadith. This is the only sin Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cursed 3 times upon that person. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what kind of punishment Allah gave them. Now look at that, it says in the books, no worse combination of punishment was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the ones in the case of people of Lut. Allah never combined 4 punishment upon one ummah. 4 punishment. Either is going to give them 1 or 2. Allah combined 4 punishment together and gave all 4 punishment to these people who were committing homosexuality. The combination of the punishment was as follows, and they are mentioned in Quran. They were blinded, as Allah said, فَتَمَسْنَا عَيُونَهُمْ, we blinded them. Then second one, a thunderous cry, a thunderous scream. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-sayha, the scream, the frequency of that scream was that loud that their ears, their sama'at, their bodies were shattered. They were still alive though, they were still alive. They had a painful experience of that scream. Then Allah says, we turned their houses upside down while they were in their houses. Still some of them were alive and they were trying to run. Then the last one was 4th one. Allah rained stones upon them, prepared specifically for them, and destroyed them completely. And then those stones were not only for those people who were committing this sin, those stones were for those as well who were somehow favoring them. So the 4th, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rained stone even upon them as well who were somehow favoring them. Somehow somehow they were taking their side. It's alright, that's fine. You know, when I was going to do this topic, 3-4 imams, they contacted me. They said, Imam, you just got to be very careful, This topic is very sensitive. Law has been made and this and that. Well, look, it is our job to educate people. It is our job. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this job to tell people. Anyone who's doing whatever they're doing, we got nothing to do with that. I'm not saying you go and start fighting with them. Go and start giving them punishment. No. We should not be doing that. We should not be doing that. Our job is to tell you what Islam and Quran says. If tomorrow they say drinking is halal, so I have to stand here and tell you drinking is halal. Tomorrow they say, yeah, you can marry, son can marry his mom. So is that going to be jaiz then? This is Islam. Why today whole world is against Islam and is still standing like a strong pillar? Because we bend our wishes according to the teachings of Quran. We don't bend Quran according to our wishes. But those who always bending their talimat, their teachings according to their wishes, look at what's happening to them. Everyone is becoming what? All becoming atheists. Pope Francis, let me just quote Pope Francis. Pope Francis in 2013, he was asked about homosexuality. And it's all on news. It's not like something hidden. I just researched yesterday and it came on Wikipedia and everywhere. Pope Francis, he gave answer in negative. Basically, he was not happy. He said, no, this is wrong. But after that, he changed his views because they've been changing since Isa alayhi salam passed away. And then Church of England, when homosexual 2 male went to Church of England, they asked them, are you going to give us blessings? They said, how can God give blessings towards sinful act? That's the statement they gave and they went quiet. So you can understand, even not just in Islam, even in a Christianity, in a Judaism, in every religion, this is haram. This is a sinful act. That's a different thing. They're not going to tell you that they're going to bend something and yeah, you can do this and you can do that. But Islam, as I told you, is totally against it. He says, no, you cannot commit this because it is a grave sin. Now, can we make homosexuals our friends? I don't know. It is up to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you free will. I'm not here to tell you no or yes. I'll just ask you one question. If Osama bin Laden was alive today, would you be able to make him friend? would you be able to phone him and talk to him what this country would do to you? Because he broke international law, he broke national law. If 9/11 people were alive today, would you be able to make contact with them or make them your friends? No, because they broke what? National law. So anyone who breaks law, you cannot make him your friend. That's the country law. Shamima Begum, why is she not still allowed to come back in this country? Because she broke national law. That's the reason she's not allowed to come back in this country. She broke their law. And not just a normal law. It's a grave law. It's a big major laws. So if someone is breaking Islamic law, not a normal law, Islamic major law, it is up to you what you want to do. Now, but I would always say, remember, I would always suggest that if someone has gone on the wrong path, someone is doing these kind of things, don't break friendship with him. If you are strong enough. Why? Udu'u ila sabili rabbik. This is the hukum given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Call people towards the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bil hikmah wal maw'izatil hasana. That you call them with wisdom and with beautiful words. Don't fight with them. Something is happening in your house, or your friend is changed, or your sister, daughter, someone is changed. Don't kick them out from your house. Our parents, what they do, they kick them. One of the boy came, he never done something wrong. That big sin, he never committed that. And he came to me, he said, my parents kicked me out from my house. 18 years old, he was 18 and he's begging to go back to his house. I was like, wow, subhanallah, those parents, shame on you. Before he was bad, now you kicked him up, he's going to become worse, because that's what shaitan wanted. If you kept him home, at least you could have helped him. You could have asked some local imam to come and could have helped him. He is begging them to take me back home. So if someone is going through these kind of difficulties, or he got trapped in a trap of shaitan, then you should help him. Don't kick him out. Yeah, unless if you think that he is influencing me rather than my company is influencing him, then you stay away and ask some imam to go to him and he can help him. Now, remember our job as an imam, as I mentioned at the start, our job as an imam is to spread knowledge of din, not hate. So, we should not be hating these people. We should not be fighting with these people. We should not be kicking them out from our house, because we can't force Islam upon anyone. You cannot force Islam. That's the reason messengers, prophets are called messengers, because they just give message. That's the reason at the end of the speech we say, وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ. That is the ayah of Surah Yasin, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every Nabi who came, he used to read this verse, this ayah at the end of his speech. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا, there is nothing upon me, illa except balagul mubin, but to give you a clear message. I'm on my way, you accept or you take, you leave, it is up to you. So our job is just to give message. Our job is to tell people why this is right, this is wrong. If someone is thinking, no, becoming gay or lesbian or homosexual or whatever, LGBTQ plus, it is their deed, they will find it on the day of judgment. But there is nothing in the world which can prove that homosexuality is acceptable or allowed in our deen, in our mazhab. That is totally wrong. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us help and success and give us strength to truly walk on the path of Sharia. Ameen. Wa ma alayna illa al balagul mubin. Jazakallahu khair hazrat.